Ike is an exciting prospect. I think we're getting him joining us with his best years ahead of him. He was in wonderful form for Cercle Bruges last year, and he got a big move to Genk. And I think the conversations I've had with him and his people, they're expecting him to have a big season towards the end of this year and next year, and build a career similar to a Jonathan David. So he's someone that I think his star is gonna keep building. And for Canada, it's just more depth. I think you've seen through this qualification pathway that 3 games in the windows is challenging for players. We've came up against some rosters that have been a little bit deeper in other positions, and they've benefited. But Canada's now strengthening there. You've seen with Kyle Larin, he's had to miss the last window. Junior Hoylett has missed this window and the last through injury. So Ike provides us with some real firepower in that department. Well, I think firstly we've got to learn about him. We've got to understand how he fits into our identity and who he is as a player. I think when you bring players into the environment and you put them around other players like Davies, David, Larin, Osorio, Eustachio, Larea, they tend to bring different parts of each other out, and that's what I've seen. It's you can be player A in one environment, but when they come to us, you can see something completely different, and that's something we've got to learn about Ike, during this window, and this window gives us a chance for more training contacts, maybe 1 or 2 if we're lucky. But it is a window with less games that gives you more time to understand a player like Ike in the training environment and see what works for him. But I think what you've seen from Ike is a number 9. He's an out and out number 9. He likes to play, between the 2 centre backs. He likes to lead the line. He can run behind the line and stretch the line, which I like. I think that's it's a facet that can help complement other players and the way that we play. Often when we play with that number 9 in Johnny or Kyle, they want to be receiving in those pockets of space off the front, and at times we get left with a line that's not stretched. That space doesn't really open up. So I think Ike gives us that opportunity. And then you see him, he's an absolute poacher in the box. He's got that just that real predatory instinct between the penalty spot and goal. All the goals he scores are just clever movements. He gets those positional advantages to create opportunities, and that's what you want from a number 9. So, and he's young. He's young, Peter. He's got, as I say, I think he's going to keep evolving over the next 2-3 years. He's playing at one of the top clubs in Belgium, and he's got a plan in his mind about where he wants to get in his career, and Canada's part of that plan. Yeah, it's been a long process. We through our regional Excel structure, we were able to find a contact at Woodbridge who had let us know that Ike had the potential to play for Canada. This is back in 2018. So we contacted Chelsea's head of recruitment, and at the time they just stonewalled the opportunity. They were very clear that Ike wasn't interested in representing Canada. Although we never got a chance to speak to the player, who was young at the time. They were very clear he was on a pathway with England, and that Canada wasn't an option. So we'd spoke to them about the potential of bringing him into one of our matches in 2018, because we were bringing a lot of young players in at the time. So that was sort of stonewalled, and it's just been a process of patience over a 3-year period. And the program's come a long way. And I think the results in recent times has made a difference. And certainly, some of the players have kept in contact with Ike as well. So from all angles, we've just kept encouraging them to keep thinking about being part of this journey with us. It's a special journey. Any player who's contemplating coming into this country know they could be part of a generational shift. And I think that's exciting for any young player. And look, John, there's a lot of players out there that, have got dual passports, and you've got to keep it real. Like I keep seeing all the names that are getting bandied around, but the reality is if they can play for a bigger association, for many of these agents and players, it's about the dollars first. This is what I'm learning. It's a short career, and they have to maximize their earnings during that period of time. And then when those opportunities sort of diminish, that's where you have real conversations. And I was able to have a real conversation with Ike quite recently, and it's been for the betterment of this country. Well, I think you've got to get to a point where the conversation's real, and that's I've learned that now. I've learned over 4 years that there's a point where it's not real, and they're using this conversation to project their opportunities in other countries, and we've seen that. We've seen that with a number of players. I think that's been a difficult part of this process, where you feel like you're having a genuine conversation with the player and their representatives, but it's been a process that they've used to get an opportunity that they see as better. But I think that's been part of the learning, and then understanding that when the conversation becomes real, then you have to make sure that the players understand the opportunity here, and that's been how things have gone. But I think on the other side is just the constant contact. I think that's been an important part of the process where we've had success, that you've been willing to constantly stay in touch, constantly track, monitor, and celebrate some of their successes, even though they're not part of your program. So, I think that's been an important part of what we've done. And yeah, it's definitely, when you're a young lad, aspiring to be a footballer, you think, playing for a country is the most important thing on your bucket list. But I think, again, in the professional era, there's big opportunities to represent a country like England commercially, huge opportunities. And, at some point, Canada will get there. We'll get to that level of opportunity. And I think, you're seeing someone like Ike switching over from the US to Canada. That was one of them that was pretty much a heart decision. It wasn't a head decision, because I think Ayo had a big opportunity with the US to become, maybe their leading number 9. But, there's a guy who wants to be part of this generational shift. And I think Ike, the same. I mean, he could have easily went to Nigeria, but it was pretty clear he wants to be part of this journey, this brotherhood we've created with this young group of men, and to take a country somewhere it's never been before, and to have that experience. That doesn't come around very often in people's football careers.